Good morning. Myself, Guruswami K, Head of the Department of Physics, IDSG Government College, Chikmagalur. In this video, I am going to discuss a lecture on free electron theory of metals. This belongs to the program 3rd BSc Physics, 6th semester, paper 7. The title of the paper is Solid State Physics and Electronics. Now I am going to discuss the topics like review of classical free electron theory, assumptions of classical theory, electrical conductivity, and success and failures of classical theory. Then Sommerfeld's model, it is assumptions. Next, energy state of free electrons in metal, and FD statistics and Pauli's principle. These are the topics should be covered in this session. Before going to discuss the Sommerfeld model and its assumptions of free electron, also energy state of free electrons in a metal, and Fermi-Dirac statistics and Pauli's principle, we should know the success and the limitations of the classical theory. Success. The classical theory successfully explains Ohm's law. It verifies Ohm's law. It explains electrical and thermal conductivity of metals. It explains electrical and thermal conductivity of metals. Wiedemann-Franz law is established by the classical theory. It explains optical properties of metals. The Ohm's law concept and the electrical and thermal conductivity concepts were discussed in lower classes, that is PU classes. And Wiedemann-Franz law statement also, don't discuss in detail. Okay. I don't want to explain Ohm's law and electrical conductivity properties. We are familiar with those. I am going to give the statement of Wiedemann-Franz law. Wiedemann-Franz law states that the ratio of the thermal conductivity to electrical conductivity is directly proportional to the absolute temperature. The ratio of thermal conductivity to electrical conductivity is directly proportional to absolute temperature, okay, in the case of metals. It is a statement of Wiedemann-Franz law. Okay, that is also successfully explained by the classical theory. And it explains optical properties of metals. Whatever the optical properties of metals were discussed in lower classes, all the properties were successfully explained by using classical theory only. Then what are the limitations or failures of this classical theory of free electrons? First one is, the classical theory failed to explain electrical conductivity of semiconductors and insulators. The classical theory fails to explain the electrical conductivity of semiconductors and insulators. And the second failure is, it fails to explain the electrical conductivity at low temperature. Electrical conductivity of metals even at low temperature. And third one is, it fails to explain the mean free path of electron. It fails to explain the mean free path. And it fails to explain observed specific heat and paramagnetic susceptibilities of metals. Okay, this is the main failure. That is, it fails to explain observed specific heat and paramagnetic susceptibilities of metals. Okay, these are the failures of classical theory. Later, these failures were successfully explained by quantum theory. Okay, we discussed in the coming classes. So next we are going to discuss quantum free electron theory. According to the classical theory, what is a free electron? A free electron is one which is not acted upon by any force. The resultant force acting on the electron is equal to 0. Then only the electron can move freely from one point to another point in a conductor. So now we are going to discuss quantum free electron theory. The quantum free electron theory was developed by Pauli and Sommerfeld. According to them, free electron gas obeys Fermi-Dirac statistics and Pauli's principle. In the previous semester, we discussed about the statistical mechanics. There we discussed about Fermi-Dirac statistics. This statistics was proposed by the scientists Fermi and Dirac. According to that Fermi-Dirac statistics, which is applicable for a fermions. Fermions are the particles whose spin is half h cross, and those particles are identical and indistinguishable. So, for such type of particles, electron is a such type of particle, is identical and indistinguishable particle. So, we are going to use Fermi-Dirac statistics in the case of quantum free electron theory. In addition to that, one more is Pauli's exclusion principle. We know the statement of Pauli's exclusion principle. No two electrons in an atom can exist in the same quantum state or same electronic state or same energy state. That is a statement of Pauli's exclusion principle. In addition to the quantum theory, quantum theory of radiation, the scientist Sommerfeld, he used the Fermi-Dirac statistical approach and Pauli's exclusion principle to explain the concept of free electrons in the case of metals by using quantum theory. Now we are going to discuss the assumptions of the Sommerfeld model, Sommerfeld free electron model or quantum free electron theory. First assumption is free electrons are the valence electrons of composing atoms. Free electrons are the valence electrons of composing atoms. What are valence electrons? We know that valence electrons are the electrons present in the outermost orbit of an atom, and these electrons are loosely bound to the atom. We supply any external energy, okay, that's sufficient enough to overcome the binding energy of the nucleus of an atom, then those electrons comes out of the atom and they becomes free electrons. Thereby, free electrons are the valence electrons of composing atoms. Next, independent electron approximation. What is this independency? Okay, the interactions between electrons are ignored. The interactions between electrons are ignored in the case of free electrons. The electrostatic fields in metals are weak because of screening effect. Each electrons are screening by the positive charge of the surrounding nucleus of an atom. Because of this screening or screening effect, the interaction between electrons are ignored. Thereby, the electrons are behaves as free electrons. Nothing but the electrons, they find itself in their own field. They won't experience any sort of field from the rest of the electrons. Thereby, each electron is screening by the positive charges or ions in the metal. Thereby, the interactions between electrons are ignored. This is the important assumption made by the scientist Sommerfeld. Thereby, those electrons are said to be free electrons. Third assumption, the potential energy of an electron at rest inside the metal is assumed to be lower than that of an electron outside the metal, because electron emission cannot be observed at room temperature. Another important point, why those free electrons, even though they are free, they are not supposed to be acted upon by any resultant force because of the screening effect. Okay, those electrons may not come out of the metal. Why it is so? Because the potential energy of an electron at rest inside the metal is assumed to be lower than that of electron outside the metal. Thereby, those electrons are free electrons and they are moving freely inside the metal, but they won't come out of the metal. Next, fourth assumption, the free electron gas in a solid does not obey the classical Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics. Because electrons are fermions, there were these particles obeys Fermi-Dirac statistics. The distribution of energy in an electron gas obeys the Fermi-Dirac statistics. The scientist Sommerfeld, he assumed a cloud of electrons, free electrons, were present a unit surface area, cross-sectional area of a solid or a metal Thereby this electron cloud is called as gas. There is nothing but in the case of gases, we found that the gas molecules are moving freely inside the container and they are moving in random directions. Okay, so similar to that here, electrons are also moving like that. They traces a random path inside the metal. Okay, hence the scientist Summerfield, he assumed that cloud of electrons inside the metal in a unit surface area as a electron gas. So this electron gas obeyed Fermi-Dirac statistics. Now to explain the distribution of the electronic levels or energy levels in the metal, we are going to use Fermi-Dirac distribution. Fifth assumption, in a metal, energy levels are filled in accordance with Pauli's exclusion principle. In a metal, electronic levels or say energy levels or quantum states are filled in accordance with Pauli's exclusion principle. Okay, nothing but each electron, free electron, possesses its own energy. Okay, the energy of one electron is not equal to the energy of another one. Thereby, each electron will contribute an energy level in the energy band structure. Okay, so in a metal, energy levels are filled in accordance with Pauli's exclusion principle. These are the few important assumptions made by the scientist Summerfield to explain the concept of free electrons by using a quantum theory. Now we are going to explain few points. Okay, that is electrons inside a three-dimensional box. Here, if the electron if we considered in a metal, okay, that's similar to or analogous to a particle in a three-dimensional box. A three-dimensional box. Okay, now we are going to discuss point by point. Okay, always some energy is required for electron emission. Without the aid of any external agency or energy, the electron emission is impossible or is not possible from the metal surfaces. That energy may be applied in the form of the potential difference or nothing but field, electric field, or it may be in the form of heat energy. Okay, there we found that the electrons emitted from the metal as a thermionic emission or thermionic electrons and so on. So there we found that we have to supply some external energy to excite the electrons from the surface of a metal. Always some energy is required for electron emission. Here there is a plot or a diagram is there here that is energy level diagram. Okay, that may be represented in the shape of a potential well. Here the depth of the well, let it be W, and that is measured from zero level or the zero energy electrons say, it is usually the restmost energy of electron, and E vac, nothing but if we place a metal in a vacuum, then highest possible energy is E vac. So that decides the height of the potential barrier or say potential well. So the electrons always possess a potential energy that is less than E vac. So the electrons at room temperature or low temperature may not comes out of the metal because they possess minimum potential energy as compared to the height of the well or this one, the potential barrier. The energy of free electrons inside the metal is lesser than the outside the metal. The energy of electron at rest in vacuum outside the metal is taken as reference level, that is what we call E vac. The interior of the metal is represented by a potential energy box of depth W. Already explained this one. The total energy of electrons is kinetic and potential energy is neglected. The total energy of electrons is kinetic and potential energy is neglected inside the potential well. So whatever the energy possessed by the electrons, that is nothing but the total energy of electrons, and this is the kinetic energy, and potential energy is negligible when it is inside the box. So because of this negligible potential energy, the electrons are strongly bound to the metal surface. They won't come out of the metal surface. In order to eject those electrons from the metal surface, we have to supply some external energy. The allowed electronic energy values are given by E equal to h squared divided by 8 me squared into nx squared plus ny squared plus nz squared. This energy eigenvalue concept was discussed in wave mechanics or quantum mechanics in 5th semester. There, the particle in a one-dimensional box discussion, and later on a qualitative discussion on particle in three-dimensional box. In the case of three-dimensional box, the energy eigenvalue of a particle is given as s squared divided by 8 me squared into nx squared plus ny squared plus nz squared, where s is the Planck's constant, m is the mass of the electron, and a is the width of the potential well, and n's are integers. Okay, here that is discussed in wave mechanics. Now here, where a is the side of metallic cube means the unit volume of a metal is considered in the conductor, okay, and m is the mass of electron and n's are integers. Okay, this decides the energy eigenvalue of a particular orbital electron. Okay, next, the spacing between the levels is very small and distribution is almost continuous. It is also discussed in wave mechanics, energy level diagram, also Bohr's theory also. Here the energy spacing between the energy levels of different orbital electrons is very small, and as one moves from the lower energy state to the higher energy states in electronic energy level or continuum, we found that the spacing gradually decreases. Okay, and this energy distribution is almost continuous. Next, each energy level can contain maximum of 2 electrons with spin. Each energy level contain maximum of 2 electrons with spin. One is with the clockwise spin, another electron with the anti-clockwise spin. Each energy level consists at least 2 electrons, or each quantum state consists 2 electrons with spin, say one is clockwise or anti-clockwise, that is plus of h cross or minus of h cross. A total number of electrons at absolute 0 Kelvin can be filled in n by 2 energy levels. A total number of n electrons under consideration in a given sample of metal at absolute 0 temperature can be filled in n by 2 energy levels. Those electrons are half filled in the case of energy level diagram. Now we are going to explain that half filled state with the help of the Fermi-Dirac distribution, that is Fermi function and Fermi energy. Now we are going to discuss what is Fermi function and Fermi energy. These concepts are also discussed in 5th semester in statistical mechanics chapter. Once again, we are going to discuss what is Fermi function and Fermi energy and how these concepts were fit to explain the free electrons by using Sommerfield's model, that is a quantum theory of free electron. At any temperature capital T, the probability of occupation of a particular level E is given by Fermi function. In the case of Fermi-Dirac statistics, we derive the expression for Fermi distribution or Fermi function as f of E is equal to 1 over e to the power of E minus EF whole divided by kT plus 1. Okay, this Fermi function explains how the electrons were distributed with different energy state or quantum states. The distribution of electrons or electronic levels or energy levels with respect to different energy are explained by the Fermi distribution function or Fermi-Dirac distribution function. Here EF is the Fermi energy and E is the energy range we have to select at a particular level. So at absolute 0, what is the value of this Fermi function? If you put temperature T equal to 0, e to the power of infinity will be get, then that is equal to 0. 1 by 1 is nothing but 1. Then f of E is equal to 1. For E is very much less than EF, that is another condition. E is very much less than EF at absolute 0. T equal to 0. We get the value of Fermi function as 1. That is 100% distribution. If we calculate the Fermi distribution function or express Fermi distribution function in terms of percents, in percentage, we get 100%. Nothing but completely filled state. Okay, if f of e is equal to 1, that shows the completely filled state. If f of e is equal to 0, f of e is equal to 0, that is the case we observed when the energy which is greater than EF, the energy level in energy continuum, which is greater than Fermi energy. Okay, there we found that the distribution will be 0. If we plot a graph of Fermi distribution function versus energy, the nature of plot obtained is as shown here, and this is what the Fermi energy, okay, at absolute 0. Before going to discuss this one, in the previous semester also, we discussed what is Fermi energy. What is Fermi energy? The topmost filled energy level at 0 degree Kelvin is called Fermi level. The energy of the topmost filled level at 0 degree Kelvin is called Fermi energy. Okay. Whatever the energy possessed by the free electron at absolute 0 is what we call Fermi energy. Okay. In the energy band structure and the potential well structure, we found that the topmost filled energy level at absolute 0 has EF, and that is what we call Fermi level. Above EF, okay, we found that in the case of metals at absolute 0, there are no free electrons. The free electrons are found to be 0. Below EF, it is completely filled here. But this is theoretically we speaking like that. Okay, but practically we found that few electrons may take transition from the energy levels which are just below the Fermi level to the electronic levels which are just above the Fermi levels. So we found that at absolute 0 also few free electrons were present because of lattice vibration or lattice specific heat. Okay, because of that lattice specific heat or lattice vibration or agitations, we found that few electrons present just below the Fermi level or take transition to the energy levels which are present just above the Fermi level. Thereby, this type of graph we can expect for the distribution, electron distribution, okay, with respect to the Fermi energy. In the theoretical cases, we say that no electrons can found, okay, at absolute 0 as a free electron just above the Fermi level. Okay, but the electronic levels are completely filled below the Fermi level. This is what the theoretical situation, but practically we found that few electrons or electronic levels which are present just above the Fermi level are partially filled by electrons. At absolute 0, all levels below a certain level are filled and all levels above the level are empty. The topmost filled energy level at absolute 0 is called Fermi level. The energy of the topmost filled level at absolute 0 is called Fermi energy, that is usually represented as EF of naught. Okay, it is above 0 degree Kelvin. The temperature is greater than 0 degree Kelvin, that is at E equal to EF. Okay, we found that the value of this Fermi distribution function as 1 over e to the power of 0 plus 1, and that is equal to e to the power of 0 is nothing but its value is 1, then by 1 plus 1 is 1 by 2. It is half filled. Okay, that is what we mentioned or quoted in this slide. A total number of electrons, let it be capital N at absolute 0, can be filled in n by 2 energy levels. Okay, that can be successfully explained by using Fermi function with respect to Fermi energy or Fermi distribution function. Okay, like this, the scientist Sommerfeld successfully explained the distribution of the free electrons in the case of metal by using quantum theory of free electrons. Now we are going to once again explain this distribution, Fermi distribution. Okay, if the temperature if it is greater than 0 degree Kelvin. Here, this means that at any temperature that is greater than 0 degree Kelvin, Fermi energy represents the energy level for which probability of occupation, probability of distribution or probability of occupation of electrons is half or 50%. That is represented as here 0.5, half filled. Okay, probability is half filled. Okay, this is 100%. Okay. It is not the topmost fluid level, but it lies in the middle of fluid levels. Which one? Half filled level. It is not the topmost level, okay, but it lies in the middle of fluid levels and empty levels. Middle of fluid levels and empty levels. Okay. Next, we are going to discuss the concept of density of energy states or quantum state. This concept also discussed in the previous semester. The definition, and here we are going to give the expressions. We need that expressions later on to derive the expression for Fermi energy in the case of metals at absolute zero, and later on average energy of electrons in the case of metals. Okay, we need the concept of density of energy state. Now I am going to repeat this definition of density of energy states and the value of density of energy states. Okay, definition. It is defined as the number of electronic energy states per unit energy range. Once again, I am going to repeat the definition. It is defined as the number of free electronic states or electron states or say quantum states per unit energy range. That is what we call density of energy states. It is given by capital D of E is equal to C into e to the power of half, where C is the constant, that is equal to, for a given metal, V divided by 2 pi squared into 2m by h cross squared whole to the power of 3 by 2. You know what is h cross? H by 2 pi. Okay, what is h? Planck's constant. M is the mass of electron and V is the volume of the metal under consideration. Okay, for a given volume of metal, the density of electronic states or energy states for the free electrons would be calculated by using the formula as d of E is equal to C into e to the power of half. In the previous discussion, we used the notation G of E. G of E. Notation will be different. Okay, no problem. Instead of G of E here, we are going to define it as D of E. Capital D of E is equal to C e to the power of half, where C is the constant for a given volume of metal, that is V is the volume. Volume is constant, rest of these things, no, that is mass of electron and Planck's constant and pi are all constants. So here that C is equal to V divided by 2 pi squared into 2m by h cross squared whole to the power of 3 by 2. This is the expression for that constant. If you substitute this value in the above expression, then d of E is equal to V divided by 4 pi squared into 2m by h cross squared whole to the power of 3 by 2 into e to the power of half. If you substitute the value of h cross squared, that is h cross means h by 2 pi na, then h squared divided by 4 pi squared whole to the power of 3 by 2. Take outside that one, then we get 4 pi v by h squared 8m by 8m whole to the power of 3 by 2 into e to the power of 1 by 2. That is the expression discussed in the previous semester. Okay, let it be. We are going to use this expression as a standard expression for the coming discussion. Okay, this is what the concept of density of energy state. Okay, once again I am going to brief the major topics were discussed in this session. What we have discussed in this session: success and failures of classical free electron theory. For the examination, there will be a 2 marks question on this concept. Quantum free electron theory in its Summerfield model assumptions. Again, we may ask a question for 2 marks for Summerfield assumptions. What are the Summerfield assumptions for the quantum theory of free electrons? And this is an explanation of the concept of free electrons by using Summerfield model with the help of a potential well or potential barrier, 3-dimensional barrier. And Fermi function and Fermi energy, concept of Fermi function and Fermi energy. Again, there will be a 2 marks question on this topic. And lastly, density of state. Define density of state and write down the expression for density of electronic states in the case of metals. These are the probable questions you may ask in your examination. Okay, with this, I am going to end this session. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.